listening to the Great American Hip Hop Debate Podcast.
They can't. In the presence of them cops. This so cold's too tight, they can't. In the presence of them cops. Throw it to your face, get blue, they can't. In the presence of them cops. This so cold's too tight, they can't. Pen and don't stop. Cause the cops wanna lock in her rap. Pen and don't stop. 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 I'm saying the facts, they can't. In the presence of them cops. This so cold's too tight, they can't. In the presence of them cops. Throw it to your face, get blue, they can't. In the presence of them cops. This so cold's too tight, they can't. Pen and don't stop. Cause the cops wanna lock in her rap. Tenant don't stop, tenant don't stop, tenant don't stop, tenant don't stop.
Chill. We the people at the GAHHD Podcast stand firmly in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement. We stand firmly with all victims of oppression, injustice, abuse of power, police brutality, and murder. And yes, what happened to George Floyd on the afternoon of May 25th was murder. What happened to Ahmaud Arbery was murder. What happened to Breonna Taylor was murder. And there are countless other victims that have lost their lives to racism and or to an evil empire known as the police force and or the U.S. government. And we the people are tired. We are tired of a corrupt judicial system that imprisons our black and brown brothers and sisters at more than 5 times the rates of whites. We are tired of seeing pictures and now more frequently videos of police abuse and outright murder, and then being forced to watch as these officers are set free with nothing more than a slap on the wrist. The protests that we are witnessing these past few days are what happens when the people can no longer take this injustice, when our voices must be heard whether by force or by choice. These protests are historic in both numbers of people participating and also in the show of unison. Never before have we witnessed a day where all 50 states were united in protests. In fact, protests have now taken place on every continent on this planet except for Antarctica. London, Paris, Sydney, Toronto, Vancouver, Syria in the middle of a war, and others have all continued to stand united against this corrupt regime of criminals. So I want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody on the front lines. Thank you to everyone who has protested. Thank you to everyone who has donated. To everyone who's sharing pertinent information, to everyone who has used their platforms to spread knowledge, to spread positivity, and most importantly, to spread love. As corny as it may sound, as generic as it may sound, what we need now more than ever is love. Love for each other, love for our fellow man. We are strong. We are love. Today we ask everybody tuning in to help us spread truth, spread knowledge, and most importantly, spread love. Love is love. Love is always. Thank you. Now we would like to take a moment in silence and remembrance of George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, Sean Bell, Eric Gardner, Rekia Boyd, Amadou Diallo, Mike Brown, Kamani Gray, Tamir Rice, Freddie Gray, to all the victims of the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre, aka the Black Wall Street massacre, rest in peace. To all the victims of the 1985 bombings of the Move Group by the Philadelphia Police Department, rest in peace. To Huey P. Newton, to Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Fred Hampton, and countless others who were innocently murdered by police abuse, rest in peace. May your deaths not be in vain, and may your souls rest in eternal peace. A moment of silence. Good afternoon, y'all. Good afternoon. We are here. We are back. We are actually in a state of emergency. This is an emergency episode of the Great American Hip Hop Debate Podcast. I am Brother Burnz. Normally, today I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna talk to y'all as Joseph Arzuaga. I am a man. I am a son. I am a father. I am an American. A Latino, and we got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot of topics to cover. We got a lot of information to share. We got a lot of rights to wrong, and welcome y'all to the show.
And it's not all gonna get done in one day either, or in a week, or in a month. But we gotta start, man.
This is the Great American Hip Hop Podcast debate podcast. I'm sorry, I can't say I'm 100% mentally, emotionally, spiritually focused, but we are strong and we are here. So once again, I am Brother Burnz. To the left of me, I got Brother Harv, aka VS.
Yes, Javier.
Who's on the check-in? Anybody on the check-in?
Just Mookie. Mookie, can you hear us?
Yeah, what's going on, my brothers?
Chill.
Shout out to Brother Mook on the check-in.
What up, my brother?
Back in.
Before we go any further, I gotta ask y'all how y'all doing. I gotta check in with y'all, make sure y'all are safe, y'all are okay. So how y'all doing, Brother V?
I'm okay. Yes, I'm okay.
Whack answer, Brother Mook.
I'm doing all right, man. I'm hanging in there.
I'm doing all right. I'm hanging in there. I'm okay. Okay. This is not the episode for that. I will not accept these answers because there's no fucking way that y'all are doing okay, that y'all are cool and there's no way that I can feel 73 emotions at once, and y'all are cool or okay. So, once again, how are y'all doing?
Confused, man. Like, actually hurt too. Hurt. There's a lot of hurt going on. You know, it's a lot of ugliness going on.
Those are two emotions I can definitely concur with.
Even fear almost. You know, more than anything, because now, not only is my life in the balance. You understand? I have a family to live for, so.
Absolutely. You got seeds, and
Exactly.
you got to educate them to what's going on.
Exactly. You know?
Brother Mook, how you doing out there?
Yeah, man, I agree totally with the fear sentiment. I'm a little scared. We've never really seen anything like this in terms of so many protests all around the world for one cause. It's something that it seemed like it started with Rodney King, and then like little by little, all the names that you mentioned in between that time and then right now has culminated in this. You feel me? Like, you know, not only with everything else that's going on in the world this year, you know, but it's taken us to a boiling point, like, and it's very scary. And you remember that we did the anxiety episode?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite episodes personally. I'm a big time advocate for mental health, so that was very important to me, and we did get a lot of positive feedback on that. A lot of people really appreciated that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely remember that episode. This is like a sequel to that episode, because we're definitely going to get into mental health shortly.
Yeah. It's a couple of the feelings that have been coming over me in terms of anxiety, feeling a little anxious. Day to day, every life, you know, all day, every day. But you know, it's in the back of my mind. It got me a little bit off as well. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's difficult to think of anything else at the moment, and it's tough, you know. I mean, we're constantly bombarded with images, videos, pictures, updates, stories, interviews, people talking, and it's a lot to take in, and we actually have to control and filter what we're taking in, because that stuff affects us internally, emotionally, our souls, our spirits. So yeah, make sure y'all doing that.
Yeah.
Before we get into our actual topic, because it's going to get heated, it's going to get live, I want to say shout out to Brother F, Straight Fuego Studios.
Sir.
I want to say shout out to everybody on the live, everybody on the check-in, everybody who was sharing. This was a quick episode, so we kind of just started promoting today. So everybody who shared it, who reposted it, shout out to y'all. Shout out to the Breath babies. Shout out to the Breath wives, the Breath moms and dads. Shout out to everybody checking in on Apple Podcasts. Shout out to everybody on Spotify. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. Shout out to everybody following on the socials. Make sure y'all are on that GAHHD _podcast page right now, because we are live. Tell a friend. We're checking in. We're speaking for the people. We're speaking against the regime. And we're about to really go in. We're about to really go in. But before we do that, I want to bring the energy up. So Brother F, hit me with that.
Yeah.
I know I don't know if y'all know what he's been doing behind the scenes, but he's been doing a lot of big things. He spoke to the governor of Minnesota. Yeah. He's actually hired and paid for a lawyer for the George Floyd's family. So shout out to Jigga, shout out to Kanye, who just made a big donation. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody who's putting in any type of work, any type of effort. These donations are important if it's, whatever it may be. But real quick, we're here, Great American Hip Hop Debate Podcast, State of the Union Address. Welcome everybody. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. Make sure everybody's tuning in. We got these messages, this information, and these words to share with y'all. So let's get right into it. Mook, I want to get right into current events. And before we do that, for anybody who has been living under a rock, on May 25th in the afternoon, a gentleman named George Floyd was accused of passing a false $10 bill, which has yet to be proven or shown. He was then held by the police, one policeman in particular, whose name I will not share because I will not give these devils any light, decided to lean on his neck with his knee. He had his hands on his pockets, real cocky looking bastard. 8.5 minutes, and George Floyd was murdered. He did not make it home that night. If you saw the video, you saw him calling out for his mom. You saw him yelling out that he couldn't breathe. You saw him begging with the officers to not kill him. Yeah, basically. And they did. And I believe it took 11 days, multiple protests across 50 states, across mad countries. Public outcry. It took 100,000 arrests of citizens. It took the LGBT community to come together. It took Korean K-pop stans to come together, just to get an arrest on these 4 officers. And if you don't know that, damn, what are you doing? Where are you? Yeah. Where do you live? What are you paying attention to? This is everywhere. This is important. This is the state of America. This is the state of the union. This is the state of the world. And at a time like this, you need to stay informed. You need to stay in contact with your people. You need to know what's going on, and you need to be ready. Not necessarily ready for war, but definitely ready for change. Yeah. So let's get to current events. Brother Mook. What you got?
So, last episode we did a segment called "What the Fuck" right? And it has to do with everything that's going on. It started early January, culminated to this. Like, this is the ultimate, I guess, what the fuck 2020 so far. So, all the current events are going to be based around this particular issue right now, right? So, first thing has to do with the charges on said officers being escalated from, I think it started 3rd degree
manslaughter.
Yeah, and manslaughter to second degree.
No, yeah, it got elevated to second degree.
Yeah. So, not only did the protest allow for the charges to be brought up on the officer, actually, get escalated to the next level. And I just, what do you guys think? You guys agree with this? Is it easier for him to be found guilty on a 3rd degree charge, second degree, some sort of move by the prosecutor so that possibly he might not be found guilty?
So it makes it harder to prove?
Exactly.
Right. That's a good take on it, actually. That's a very good take on it. That's actually a tactic that attorneys use.
Well, 1st degree murder is actually harder to prove than 2nd degree murder.
That's what I mean.
2nd degree,
but 3rd degree is harder to prove than 3rd. Yeah, I mean, the 2nd degree is harder to prove than 3rd. That's what he's trying to get at. So, what if elevating the charges is a tactic that they use so they could then get him off on a technicality or whatever.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised.
This is the same system that has done this multiple times. This is the same system that let 4 cops walk when they beat the shit out of Rodney King. This is the same system that no charges were filed against Eric Gardner. This is the same system that let George Zimmerman walk. This is a corrupt system. Nothing surprises me.
It's the same system that charged the Central Park 5.
Not only charged, convicted and incarcerated for multiple years and did not properly compensate upon release.
And a lot of them lost like their innocence, their childhood, everything. Man.
They lost their lives. Like you can't even put a price on that.
Oh, yeah,
you
right.
can't put a price on that.
The president was a big advocate of guilty.
Well, I want to look in the camera right now, and I want to send this message out. If you are a fan or a supporter, I want to look at both cameras because that's what camera on, but I can't do that, so I'm going to look for it. But if you are a fan or a supporter of George Bush and his corrupt regime, I just want to say fuck you. Earlier this week, I put out a statement where I did say if you are fucking with police, fuck you, and also fuck the police. And I want to make this statement clear so that there is no confusion. When I say fuck the police, I am not talking to the police who are trying to do good for the community. I am not talking to the police who are trying to produce positive change from the inside. When I say fuck the police, y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm talking to the racists. I'm talking to the abusers of power. I'm talking to the neo-Nazis. I'm talking to the fucking murderers. I'm talking to the ones who shove mop sticks up people's asses and shit. These are not cops. These are not public servants. They're not here to protect and to serve. They're here to disrupt and abuse. And if you support that, fuck you. And if you're a cop and you stand next to them and you don't report them, fuck you too. Because if you co-sign sucker shit, that makes you a sucker.
A bigger sucker.
And I want to make that clear. If you support corrupt police, fuck you. If you support Donald Trump and his regime, fuck you. If you support using the military to police your citizens and shoot them as they stand on their property safely, fuck you.
Believe it or not, a general came out and said that will not happen. We will not advise. We will advise fully against that.
It's done already. He can't say that will not happen when it already happened 2 days ago. I've seen the video. I've seen the National Guard rolling down the streets in their tanks and they're shooting pepper bullets, plastic bullets at people who are on their property behind their gates. This is abuse of power, and if you support it, don't fucking holler at me. Don't talk to me. I can't fuck with you.
I agree with you 100% on that, Burnz. I put a similar post out on both Twitter and Facebook and anyway.
And if you got offended by my post, fuck you.
Yeah, that's exactly. I put that in the comments. I'm like, if my post offended you in any way, shape, or form, then guess what? I am talking to you. Number 2, go fuck you.
Now, Brother F did hit me with a message when I posted my anti-police sentiment.
That's right.
And he did inform me that he does have family who is police, and I did inform him that I'm not talking about them.
Yes.
I'm sure they are good people. I also have family who are police. I have a couple cousins who are police, sheriffs and stuff, and God bless them. I pray for their safety. Mm-hmm. But if they see some murderous shit and they don't report it, then that makes them a sucker, and I won't fuck with them either.
Yeah, man. Like my older brothers and wife do it, he knows my feelings, and we're on a lot of issues. You know what I mean? But hey, it's the path that all of us have chosen.
Absolutely. Like I said, if you dreamed of being a police officer as a child and you dreamed of making changes from within and changing the system, God bless you. I pray for you. Please continue on that struggle. Please continue on that mission. If you decided in high school that you were tired of getting bullied and slapped around because you're a little bitch, and you decided to become a cop and abuse people who used to pick on you, then fuck you. There's no other way to say it.
Yeah, that's some simple shit.
Going back to what the fuck 2020,
well, we was on current events.
Current events and what the fuck 2020 is the same thing, because every event that happens is a what the fuck.
Yeah.
This year continues to get worse, and I don't want y'all to think I'm being negative. Please don't take that the wrong way. I'm merely updating you on what is going on.
Yeah.
This year has been crazy. It's been dangerous. It's been deadly. We've had disease. We've had race wars, protests, riots. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. Killer hornets from China. Parallel universes, aliens.
Yeah, that nobody paid attention to.
That nobody cared about because we're too busy caring about real shit and trying not to get killed for walking down the street and walking by a group of police.
Yeah, exactly.
It feels like eons ago this party was yelling, coronavirus. It feels like that. So far
I'm gonna be real, that's not even on my radar, and I'm a little disappointed in the Cardi B reference.
I'm just saying, that was the biggest thing they pulled out. Like COVID-19. Never seen something, in this country in our lifetime where you're forced to quarantine, and you know, stuck, and like, you know, everything is shut down. You know what I'm saying? And now, even like, you know, stores across the country are being shut down because of like threats and things. Like, I know there's Walmart, all the Walmarts in my neighborhood shut down because it's insane. You know, it's outrageous. And you know, you feel like, hey, I'm staying in the house. You know, and there's people that
No, do not think that.
You're
Do
not-
not think
you're
you are
not-
safe at home.
You're not saying
That's what I'm saying.
That is wrong.
Insane.
Breonna Taylor was an EMT who was in her house sleeping with her boyfriend and her child in the house when it was invaded by policemen who were looking for someone who was already in their custody and proceeded to shoot Miss Breonna Taylor in her bed and killed her. And when her boyfriend jumped up scared, pulled out his gun and shot at him, they arrested him. No cops have been arrested in this case.
Yeah.
They just reopened it today. So
That's
this
the
is
thing.
not only about George Floyd.
It's systemic.
It's repeated. It's repetitive. It's disgusting.
It's systemic, man. This is what they designed. Man. This is what it is. How did the police originate? Do you know how the police originated?
I'm going based off
Do you
KRS-One, who told me the police came from police officer comes from overseer, officer. Check the similarities.
Yeah. Nah, but that's what it is. They used to use people to go hunt runaway slaves, and that's basically what became of the police.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it. So if you
You know what I'm saying?
if you turn slave hunters into civic servants who are here to serve and protect, guess what? There's a disconnect. There's a disconnect because they were out there killing and hunting and murdering to begin with, and now you want them to protect people they don't like.
See, and that's the thing, that it starts with the training. It starts with the whole culture of basically a police officer. One of their lives is worth way more than an average life. You know, they're held on a higher pedestal. You know, like like I said, if I kill Burnz right now, I'm going to prison. If a cop kills Burnz, there might be an investigation, but most likely they'll pin it on Burnz. You know what I'm saying? Because he was wearing all black,
And that's the
looks like
problem.
he's about to murder someone.
That is one of the many problems that we face as Americans in this
That's
country,
what I'm
as
saying.
colored Americans.
Yeah.
And let me say something. If you are of Latin descent, if you are Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuban,
South American, anywhere from South America.
hello, you black. You got black DNA in you. You are black. And they will kill you immediately. A white man scared and armed, to him you are black as midnight, and he'll shoot you with no remorse.
He won't be able to differentiate. you
Stop
between-
discriminating against your own people. Light-skinned Latins, stop discriminating against dark-skinned Latins.
Word.
And dark-skinned Latins, stop discriminating against black people, because most of y'all blacker than them.
Yeah, I know that.
All these Dominicans, all these Puerto Ricans, racist? How can you be racist against something that is inside of you? You are a disgrace.
I never
Check
understood
yourself.
that. I never really understood that. I mean, I didn't, but now I do. I actually do, because it's just self-hate.
It's self-hate. That's what it is.
It's
And
self-hate.
remember, self-hate is what led to the Holocaust.
It really is.
Because
Self-hate.
Hitler was half Jewish, and he hated himself, and he hated himself for it. Hence, his determination to wipe out and commit genocide against that entire race, which feels a lot like what is going on today with Hitler too, Jr., aka Donald Trump.
Some
Yeah,
people.
same thing with the Republic.
Trujillo?
Trujillo, yeah.
Trujillo.
I read about Trujillo.
Wiped out-
I read about Trujillo.
Haitians.
Yeah, wiped out Haitians.
His grandma was Haitian.
Brought in a bunch of white people to be doctors and lawyers to whitewash all of the important positions in the country. Just embarrassing. And Dominicans especially, I'm sorry, I got love for my Dominican people. I got Dominican brothers and sisters, love to Ray the Don and Cha-Cha. If you Dominican and you racist against black people, you're a fucking idiot. You literally share land with Haiti, the first continent or the first island colonized by Africans.
The first stop, basically,
So,
on the slave trade.
I mean, literally, they're your neighbors, and I'm sure you went correct.
yeah, exactly.
First
So-
black people to the Americans as well. They treat themselves as a French.
Right.
Black people to ever be, besides, like, like I'm talking about like after slavery.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So,
Good shit. Yeah, man.
So yeah, I want to give a shout out to, like I said, to all the protesters, everybody who's out on the front lines doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I don't want y'all to let media confuse you. What they share, what they post, what they promote is not always the truth. They hide a lot of truths. Remember, they are controlled by our government. The news is constantly repeated in every state, the same updates word for word. So do not get your news from the media. Do not trust CNN. Do not trust NBC, ABC, CBS, none of these people. If you want to get the truth, if you really want to get your news, I suggest you get it from the people directly. I personally get most of my information from Twitter, videos and updates from people who are actually out there. You'd be surprised how many videos I've seen of police violence after George Floyd. I don't understand how the police continue to beat people up and murder people who are protesting against the police, beating people up and murdering people.
Yeah, exactly. They're so brazen about it still. Like, they're doing it. They know they're being filmed and they're still doing it.
There was a young man murdered last night in California, a 22-year-old young man.
Oh, I did read about that.
He was shot 6 times by a police officer sitting in his car. The police officer sitting in his car stuck his gun out his window and shot the kid 6 times. If you are sitting in your car and this kid is kneeling in the street, that means you are in no immediate danger. Your life is not in danger. What is the reason for shooting him?
It sounds like
that's murder.
That looks like an execution.
That's murder. And they did not report this murder until the National Guard was already in the area because they knew of the potential protests and riots that this would cause. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. You guys have no fucking hearts. You guys have no souls. And again, if you're in support of this treatment, if you're racist, if you're a MAGA, if you Donald Trump 2020, whatever, eat a dick. I mean, really, I can't tell you anything else. And I have people that I have actually had genuine love for in the past, that now they're Trumpies. And I don't fuck with you. I don't fuck with you if you support Trump. Do not text me. Do not call me. Do not DM me.
Yeah, word. Me neither. Stay away.
Back to Trump. Trump is a fucking bitch. Let me tell you that. When shit got real, and people were running up in D.C., running up in these buildings, running up in the White House, he ran.
Yeah.
He retreated. He retreated to a bunker.
Because he's not built, man.
He turned all the lights off in the White House. If you have not seen this image, please Google it. It is so informative. It is so truth-telling of what kind of president we have.
It's almost comical. Like, that's something that you kind of see like in a comedy. Like when somebody runs in the house and turns all the lights off because they're afraid of the boogeyman or some shit.
Yeah, and like hides under the bed and you see the blanket.
Like I said, it's almost comical.
It's embarrassing. This is our leader. This is the person who's supposed to represent us internationally. This is the person who's supposed to be taking care of us American citizens. And he is quick to run and hide when shit gets tough, when shit hits the fan. No, that is unacceptable.
The fact that Obama had to come out and speak, like basically take the lead, like, my man, take a seat. I'm gonna speak for the country right now.
Yeah, and shout out to Obama who went today. He delivered. Pretty much he was our opening act at 5 o'clock, so shout out to him. We appreciate you opening it up, warming the people up so we can come in here and deliver the message. Obama, that's a good dude. That's our people, so shout out to him.
It's kind of prophetic, that whole Trump shit. Like, when he got voted into office, we knew it was bad for us, bad for the United States. And, the racial climate can't get any worse in this country. It's impossible. Like, it just...
I gotta disagree with you.
I was just gonna say, I could easily see it getting worse.
I wouldn't be surprised if Trump lynches somebody on national television. Yeah. That wouldn't even surprise me. I mean, I can envision it coming.
Yeah. It's just something that, it's insane. Like, we knew that there was going to be issues, and look into the point where we are now. Like, even we feel like, I feel like he mishandled the whole COVID-19 situation, and Look, I mean,
I remember the night that
insane.
I remember the night that Trump was voted in, and I remember my partner, you know, my I was in a relationship with someone. My significant other.
Your then partner.
Significant other.
Yeah, your then partner.
And she cried when Trump won.
Wow.
She cried, and I'm gonna be honest. I didn't fully understand it because I didn't comprehend the magnitude of what had just happened. But now, 4 years later, as we head into potentially his re-election, I do understand
The magnitude.
Yeah, I've seen the destruction he's caused. I've seen the division he's caused.
I don't mean to cut you off, but it's because he's so underqualified, first of all, as a politician to begin with.
Well, he's not a politician.
That's what I mean.
So
That's what-
it's not even that he's underqualified. He's not that.
Well, he's
I can't
underqualified.
walk into a hospital and
Yeah.
perform surgery and say, yeah, I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
Because I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They're not going to let me in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So the fact that he got in office, and let me tell y'all why he got in office in case you're confused or don't understand. The man is a fucking racist, and he promoted racism, and he gave racists a voice. So if you are black or colored and you voted for Trump and you support Trump, again, yeah, I mean, there's not many words I can say other than fuck you, eat a dick.
Yeah.
No, even worse, the people that didn't show up and vote. Hey, you know, I'm not gonna vote for Hillary or Trump. Like, hey, that's a vote for Trump.
No, you can't knock them because Trump didn't win the popular vote.
He didn't.
Regardless,
It doesn't-
If he would have showed up, if those people would have showed up, they might have swung those electoral college votes.
Nah, because they were looking for somebody like Trump.
I can't say
What
that
I'm
there
trying
was
to
any
tell
way
you
for
is
victory.
that you cannot not show up and then say, hey, you know, talk about Trump.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You can't
You know what I'm
say,
saying?
you can't point the finger at somebody for being a problem, but you're not even part of the remedy. I get what you're saying.
Exactly. And you can't say,
Yeah.
I'm not going to vote for so-and-so, you know, because the lesser of two evils or whatever. You know, you know, whatever. You don't vote, that's a vote for the other side. No matter what, no matter how you like it.
I get what you're
I don't want to
saying.
hear it.
I mean,
I don't
I
wanna
get
hear
what
it.
you're saying. I just disagree because Trump didn't win the popular vote regardless. So
Now,
the
point,
election
if
was
you win
stolen.
a state, if you win a state, the election's been stolen plenty of times, but it gets to the point where you have to try to swing a state. For example, of Florida. You know what I'm saying? Let's take Florida, for example. People don't show up to vote for whoever is the candidate against this motherfucker. He's gonna win that shit. He's gonna win those electoral.
I get what you're saying. You can't, like, you gotta participate.
I get what you're saying.
Right.
I just disagree because I think he would have won it regardless because it was rigged for him to win, and the people and their voice was going to be shut down no matter what. Everybody could have voted. We could have won the popular vote by 100 million votes,
Yeah.
and they would have somehow
Possible,
said,
but listen.
"No, that didn't work. That didn't count."
It's possible, but listen, Barack Obama won twice. People showed up for him.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. So there you go.
his
We can
opposition.
win. We've shown that we can win against these oppressors. You know what I'm saying? We can show up against these motherfuckers. And so you have to go and show up. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk from behind closed doors. It's impossible. And people need to vote now in this upcoming election.
That's the other thing.
Yeah,
too,
totally agree.
about that, yeah.
November 2020 is coming up quickly. It's going to be an important time. It's going to be our chance to go out there, vote, let your voices be heard, get the devil out of office. And I mean, I'm not even too confident in that because Biden is another racist and another rapist.
Yeah.
So, I
he's
mean,
kinda-
it's a devil for a devil.
Yeah, it's like that saying goes: the devil you know is better than the devil you don't.
The only thing we can hope for is that Biden makes Obama vice president. That's the only thing we can hope for, and I think that might be the only way he wins.
a solution like that. You think?
Yeah, I mean, the system is so corrupt that you have to steal votes any way possible, and I
think
mean,
that would be stealing votes. That's
it's
the
going to
cheat code,
improve. Yeah, it's going to help him. It's going to help him, and he needs all the help he can get because, regardless of what anyone may say or think, I believe Donald Trump is in a position to get reelected.
That's what I'll say.
It's
The
highly
odds,
likely.
the odds of him actually being reelected are higher than the odds of him not being.
And that is scary. And let me tell you something else that's scary. If he initiates martial law, he can't even be voted out.
Yeah.
He can cancel votes in November. He can cancel the re-election and just stay in office.
Yeah, exactly. Which I don't doubt he would try at all.
We're not too
That's
as we speak.
The other thing too, I think also because he fears prosecution once he's no longer the president. You understand what I'm saying? So I think they'll come after him. I think when he's done, because they got to get somebody, and they're gonna get him.
Who's gonna get him?
The government.
The government is his friends.
I know, but they gotta throw somebody as a sacrificial lamb.
I don't see it. I don't see it. That's wishful thinking. No way. They could have taken him down for rape. They could have taken him down for war crimes.
That's another
They
thing
impeached him, and he's still in office.
I actually want to get into later, because a lot of shit came out about him.
So back.
Shady characters. Go ahead.
Hold on. Before we move on, because this is still connected to the bunker. So after he was in his bunker, and it became public knowledge, and he was publicly embarrassed and shamed for being a pussy, which is factual 100% to Virgil's, he decides he wants to come out. He wants to go in front of St. John's Church.
Yeah.
He wants to hold his Bible. He wants a photo op. He wants to send a message.
Yeah.
Now, normally, when you include church, you think peace, you think love, you think God, you think spirituality, you think blessings, you think amen. What you don't think about is clearing a path using police, Secret Service, using tear gas, using rubber bullets against protesters who are standing there peacefully doing their protest. So for him to go use his I don't even want to say police, like what's the word? Assassins, his fucking
his hitmen.
His hitmen.
His hit squad.
To clear a lane, clear a way
for him to get his picture.
Holding the Bible.
Yeah.
Upside down. Upside down because he's fucking retarded.
Because he's the devil.
I don't know, man. But it's like I always say to people, though, if you don't realize it now, either you don't want to or you're just on his side.
He literally harmed people, clergymen of the church.
Yeah.
The church came out with a statement afterwards and
Parishioners
said they are embarrassed that he was there. They did not want him there. He was not representing church sentiment, the church itself.
Yeah. Anything that the church stands for.
All right, moving on.
All right, next current. What you got, buddy?
All right, so moving on. That was a good one though, because anytime we get into Trump, man, it gets
Trumpito.
You have if Trump doesn't raise your emotional ire, I don't know. Sometimes I don't even have words for y'all because y'all it's embarrassing. If you turn on the TV and you see these protests that are going on, and you see the video of George Floyd, and you see what happened to Breonna Taylor, and you see what happened to Ahmaud Arbery, and you don't have any kind of emotional reaction, if you are not upset, you are not for the people, you are not of the people,
you're not with us.
You are an animal.
You are the animal.
Exactly. So that brings me to the next topic, which is kind of like interrelated with Trump, which is the NFL right now. So, there was a whole thing with Trump, the NFL, and Colin Kaepernick. And Colin Kaepernick was kneeling, during the national anthem to protest this same issue, right?
Yeah.
So we had a couple of big names. I guess people from the NFL made comments like, the coach for the Broncos, Nick Fangio, and then one big comment from Drew Brees, who said, he's a current quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. Everybody knows Drew Brees, future Hall of Famer, likable guy. Strange that he would come out and say,
"Don't say likable guy. Fuck Drew Brees."
Well, prior to this particular comment,
there is no prior.
Likable.
No, there is no prior. We live in the moment, so fuck Drew Brees. And anybody who stands by Drew Brees, fuck Drew Brees. Fuck his apology. Fuck the NFL for blacklisting Colin Kaepernick when he was protesting peacefully, because y'all motherfuckers, we protest peacefully and y'all don't like it. We protest violently and y'all don't like it. We march on the streets and y'all don't like it. What's the win? What's the outcome? What can we possibly do to initiate change when everything we attempt to do gets shut down and shitted on?
But it's like I always say, man. I always think that they're exerting their dominance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So his comment was he said that he'll never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag. Yeah. I guess because his two grandfathers fought in the war, in World War II. So, we had a bunch of NFL players come out and just, shit on him, including teammates Michael Thomas, who was the illest standout wide receiver last year, Alvin Kamara, his running back, Richard Sherman, I mean, the list goes on and on. Ed Reed, who's retired now, he's playing for the Ravens. And it's, even his teammate, Michael Thomas, said he don't know no better. So it's outrageous. It's outrageous to comment. It's outrageous his ignorance. And it's something that my brother always says in terms of, depending on what climate you are, a comment that you'll make, maybe, it's not insensitive it's not insensitive depending on the time that it's released, the actual comment. And it's tone deaf is what it is. You know what I mean?
Drew Brees' comments show that he lacks awareness, shows that he lacks compassion, and show that he's a fucking idiot. So fuck him. Does he think that black people did not participate in World War II? Does he think there were no black soldiers in that war? Does he think that probably his grandparents didn't fly right along with some black pilots in this war?
That's the Tuskegee Wars. That's where they used the Tuskegee Airmen. That's where they
Is he
used
fucking
pilots.
stupid? And props to his teammates for coming out. They should beat his fucking ass.
Catch him out there on the field.
It's about time people start coming out and talking, because for a long time, let me tell you, the NFL is racist.
Oh, super.
The quarterback is the most racist position. How many black quarterbacks have we had through the years? How many black coaches? How many black owners?
None.
Fuck the NFL. I can't support it. I can't support it. And
that's the thing.
And I don't know if y'all supporting it or continuing to watch it, I don't know how offensive that may be to me.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I know what you mean.
It's an egregious comment by Drew Brees. He should start.
It's an egregious league.
Retirement. He should start thinking about early retirement. But when you think about it,
no, don't retire. Do not retire.
All sports.
Let these fucking defensive ends eat him up. Let his African American linemen move over and not block, and let these motherfuckers tear his ass up. Pause.
Yeah, that won't happen.
Let him learn.
Yeah, but that won't happen. Nobody wants to lose their job. And that's the sad part. And you got to remember, I think the league, like the NFL, in my opinion, is the least proactive league as far as the players, because they have the most to lose and they can lose it the quickest. Whereas, like in baseball and in basketball, they have the league behind them. In baseball, a lot of their contracts are, guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Where in the NFL, you don't have none of that. Like the player, mind you, brings in the most money and they get treated the worst. So a lot of them.
So we have a bunch of rich white owners who are profiting off of the sweat and destruction of African Americans on a field.
Yes.
What does this sound like I am describing to you?
I'll tell you what, and I'll tell you how.
No, answer the question.
No, you're absolutely right what it sounds like, but the way that the owners will differentiate with what you're trying to compare it to is that these so-called quote-unquote players, or whatever you might want to call them, they're highly compensated, and they're handsomely compensated to do what they do.
They are highly compensated, that is correct, but that is still only a minimal portion of what the owners are making.
Yeah, but so that's the basis. That's the basis of their argument, is what I'm trying to tell you. That they're handsomely compensated, and they know what they're getting into.
You know what? I don't give a fuck what the NFL says.
Yeah.
I'm tired of having to listen to excuses and reasons as to why this and why that.
Yeah.
Fuck you, you're racist and you're wrong, and nobody should support the NFL.
The fact that they blackballed Cap.
We should blackball the NFL. That's what we should do.
That's tough.
It's not tough. Turn the TV off.
I tell that to everybody else.
Dead Press told us in what year was that? 99. Turn off the radio.
Yeah.
Turn off the bullshit. Don't watch the fucking NFL. Go outside.
Play the NFL.
Boycott that shit. Y'all won't do it. They won't do it. People won't do it because people are too comfortable and people need that little entertainment. And it's more important for them to watch a bullshit football game that has no fucking determination or impact on their lives than to actually go outside and see what's really going on. So I challenge y'all. Boycott the fucking NFL when it comes back.
Yeah, if it comes back.
Mook, I challenge you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a very controversial league. You're absolutely correct in saying that there's a lot of similarities to slavery, things like that. I find a problem with all sports, though. All sports have the race issues. The least is the NBA, of course, because it has. I'm not going to say it has the most African American players, but it has the most African American players in terms of the ratio. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they also have more African Americans in positions of power and leadership.
Exactly, over time. But all of these sports have had to deal with, the inclusion of African Americans. So, the NFL is just, I guess, the last one to get on the boat, or maybe hockey or something like that. But, it goes back to even Jackie Robinson.
Well, every sport started off white. Blacks were not allowed in every sport. So if we want to be honest, we can say fuck all of them.
Yeah. Because you had the Negro Leagues and all that. Yeah, that's bullshit, man.
So, any more current events or what the fuck 2020s we need to bring up?
What else you got?
We got a couple more to hit on. Check this out. So, the looting that started all over the country has been, it's been blown out of proportion, right? You've seen stores like, Gucci, Dior. There was a store in ATL called Icebox, it's a jewelry store, and the list goes on and on. But there was a report that I saw that showed people not of color actually doing part of the looting and, part of the destruction. Like, for example, there's a man named Wesley Summers. He was caught setting fire to a courthouse in Nashville. And, and quote unquote part of the protest, but he's a white kid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, what they show in the news compared to what really is going on, there's a big difference. Also, I saw people going into a Patagonia store, which is like for surfboards and stuff like that. White people are just stealing surfboards out the store, like straight up white people. Like, what are you doing? You're not part of this protest, or you might be a part of the protest, but you're also doing the looting. But more of what you see in the news is the African American and things of that nature. And I don't think that's been brought to light as much.
Well, that's because, again, it goes to what Burnz was saying before. Look at where you're getting your information from. If you're looking to CNN, Fox, or any of those outlets for information, they're going to show you the negativity. They're going to show you what they want you to see. Instead of these surfers, these stoners, breaking into fucking Patagonia and trying to get a fucking surfboard.
That's outrageous.
So a few points on this topic. First of all, when white people are shown on the national media looting, they are referred to as employees and or survivors. So fuck the media.
That's what I said.
You do not represent the people. In any protest, there's going to be people who are going to take advantage. There's going to be people who are going to come out and they're going to loot and they're going to create riots and they're going to, create what's the word I'm looking for?
Civil unrest.
Pandemonium. That's a good word. Yes, they're going to create just not what we're out there for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And again, because I get my news from Twitter and I get actual video footage and photographic footage. A lot of these people that are initiating these riots, a lot of these people that are breaking windows, a lot of these people that are setting fires are correct. They are white, and also a lot of them are police.
Yeah.
I have seen multiple videos of police breaking store windows, of police I saw a video of police in the Bronx cutting a fucking metal gate with a saw of a jewelry store so that people could come and rob it.
Yeah.
I've seen police breaking their own car windows and then saying they were destroyed.
Yeah.
Police are putting bricks in protest areas.
Bricks.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
was
Yeah.
gonna say that. leave
Conveniently,
bricks.
leaving.
They're putting old police cars to be destroyed, or police cars that are already destroyed. They're just
Yeah.
parking them there, so people can be like, "Oh shit, they destroyed this one. Let's
Yeah.
destroy another one."
Yeah.
It's another form of their corruption. It's another form of this regime's attempt to punish people for crimes that they are not committing.
Yeah.
It's a distraction, sort of like entrapment. And then, yeah, like you said,
It's entrapment.
you still
It
want
is
to-
entrapment.
Yesterday, the
Yeah.
police had people locked up on, I believe, the Brooklyn Bridge. They had police on either side waiting for 8 o'clock so then they could arrest them for not being home by curfew. But how the fuck are you gonna get home from before curfew if the police ain't letting you?
Yeah, exactly.
If they're shutting down train stations? If they're blocking public transportation? It's entrapment. It's a setup. 100,000 plus people have been arrested since May 25th. Civilians.
Yeah.
4 policemen got arrested yesterday.
Think about the ratio.
These
What's the
4
ratio?
policemen were the cause of this whole fucking riot of all these protests. Had they arrested these 4 policemen the day the crime actually occurred, and it is a crime that occurred, maybe we wouldn't be protesting.
A lot of this would have been avoided, definitely.
If police were held accountable for their actions against humanity, maybe we wouldn't have to protest.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Nobody polices the police. Internal affairs is police.
Yeah, and they were all charged now. Like they were all charged with the aiding and abetting
Murder. Yeah.
murder. Yeah.
Yeah, one of them was Asian American.
2 of them sounds like they were Asian. One of them is named
Well,
Tao. The other one is Kyung. So that sounds
Yeah.
like 2 Asians. And
Yeah.
then Thomas Lane.
There was one that was right there that you see him throughout the whole video, and he's looking at his partner, you know, with his knee on George's back and neck, and absolutely just not doing anything, man. Like,
Yeah, if you weren't helping, you were helping. I mean, if you weren't helping the man, you were helping him die.
talk about people of color, you know what I'm saying? Like, talk about people of color, like, you know.
And that's the other thing too. Like, how did these guys? Like, I'm pretty sure because on Sunday the Bruce Lee documentary is gonna come out, Be Water, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna talk about all the shit he went through to try to get on when they shitted on him for being